Rev up your engines! Okay, Toyota Corollas don't brake much. Well, this one's having an intermittent problem. The VSC light starts flashing on, it goes into limp hold mode, and then it doesn't drive very well. Well, it didn't do it when he drove it over here, but these things have a tremendous memory in them. So, we're going to get the big computer out. So, here we go, the alt scan tool. First, we got to find the data port, which, aha, this time they even says OBD2, so it's easy to find. We'll plug it in, turn the key on, and now it's going to interface. And here we go with a big unit. It's scanning it. This is a relatively new car, but it's updated itself. So we gotta wait for that. That's one thing I have to say about this Think car. The updates are so simple. It does it all the time. You don't have to worry about not having the correct information. It does it fast. I use my fiber optic cable inside, but it'll even work on 5G really. And here we go. It knows it's a 2010 Corolla. We'll do diagnosis. Listen to all the funky noises it gives off. Since this has an actual key, we do without smart key. There we go, North America, VIN, engine size, gasoline, okay. And we're gonna do the smart scan because we want to check absolutely everything. And we'll go through, everything's green, 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 green. And there's some problems. Since it's not running right, generally the ABS system, track system, that stuff, it all comes on when there's a problem. That's a software thing. What we're worried about is engine and ECT, so let's check that. First, we're going to read the fault codes. Throttle position sensor, so let's look at the data when it tripped the code. Everything's blue, it's just normal, but we want to see it happened when it was going only 18 miles an hour. Now, the problem with this code is it comes and it goes, and it's not coming presently. We'll have to road test it and do some data to see what's happening with it. But something's wrong with the pedal position sensor, or the throttle itself, it's electronic, or the wiring in between. You step on the pedal down here with your foot, the throttle sensor there, you step on it, it tells you how much you push the pedal. The wiring goes to the engine. It goes under here. We'll get off this stupid beauty cover that just gets in the way. It tells the throttle, which is electronic, to either open or close. So there's a problem in that system. Okay, so we're going to look in here. I've unplugged the wiring that goes into the throttle assembly. Sometimes it gets corroded, so I'll get some electrical spray cleaner. Spray it real good. Now realize the power that goes to these things is only a 5-volt reference signal, not much power, and a few milliamps. Hardly any energy's going through. Any little bit of corrosion can make them act up and not get the right voltage. This actually was getting an under voltage thing, so it could easily be this. Realize most of the time it's either the throttle itself, your pedal sensor, where you step on the gas, you're stepping on a computer mouse that moves. That's the first thing that normally goes out. Or the actual throttle itself. This assembly is just a motor that gets the data, and it can wear, and you can see, this has lived here in Rhode Island for a long time, so it's all corroded, even though it's all internal parts. It's a Toyota, it hasn't been wrecked, so odds are there's absolutely nothing wrong with the wiring itself. Now, as you can see when you go inside the car, there's the pedal, and there's the pedal sensor. You can see it's all electronics, it's a sealed unit. There's really nothing that can happen to it, but as you drive the thing, the internals there are moving. So it's a moving part, and it will wear out over time. But I might have found the problem here. You can see there's this box here. Well, normally you don't have that box. This is an add-on. The driver is differently abled, so he has these hand controls put onto it to make it run. Now, that gives me a big idea. He has a RAV4 that's got the same type of setup for driving it, which is his vehicle, because he can get in and out easier. They got a lot of egress. He doesn't like driving this because it's hard for him to climb in and out. And this is his wife's car. So he's going to go and get the guys that install it, uninstall it, because it is probably what's doing it. We're going to take it for a road test and see if it acts up. But they don't come and go like this one does if they break. If it was the throttle sensor, it wouldn't be intermittent. It would be happening extremely frequently. This only happens once in a while. If the throttle itself was wearing out, it's an electric motor, right? And it's going to work or not work relatively the same. It isn't going to all of a sudden decide, well, you know, once a month I'm going to get funky. But that add-on stuff is all computerized stuff for the hand driving system. And there's no saying of what can go wrong, because he told me that last year he had the system checked and they had to replace a module. And then the problem went away and now it's coming back again. So since he doesn't drive this car much, he's going to get the whole thing disconnected. Now realize, the throttle body assembly on this is $447. Not something you want to guess with. And if you want to know about the pedal, that part costs $232 if you want a factory part. In this case, you might be able to get a free fix. This system, this hand driving system, is all tied into that. It needs to be disconnected and put back to the factory one, rather than to start messing around with something that may have no problems at all. These systems work pretty well in the Toyotas, especially one that only's got 117,000 miles. That's nothing for these things. But I did do the cleaning, so what we're going to do is clear the codes. Now you can see there's no codes, and we'll take it for a road test. But not just any road test. What I'm going to do, and I'll go to read the data stream, and we'll record it and take the road test. So while the data is recording, we'll start it up. Start showing up, go for a spin. Well, it's definitely time for new wiper blades. We got the noisy streakers here. Hey, and for a Corolla, it still rides decently. These are bumpy roads in Rhode Island. Realize that. Now here's an interesting thing. This is an electronic control unit. Because it's a small car, there's much room, and it takes up less space. He has the RAV4 that I filmed last year, and it has a mechanical system instead of an electronic system. And that system went from car to car, and the control units on his old RAV4, which he took from another one and another one, they still work fine because they're completely mechanical, which goes to show you that mechanical is often better than electronic. And it also tells you something you should learn. It's not a good idea to add computer electronics on top of computer electronics. This has an electronic system that's making those controls work on top of the Toyota electronic throttle control. I have had the same thing happen year in and year out. They'll have a Toyota, comes with a good alarm system the way it was made, but they want some fancy alarm system. So they have an alarm system put on top of Toyota's alarm system. All hell breaks loose sometimes. You change the battery, the car won't start because one burglar alarm system is interacting with the other, or they come back from the grocery store, the car won't start. They tow it to me. So please, don't put electronic systems on top of electronic systems. Let's say you're going to put a fancy stereo in your car, okay? Don't start hooking the wires up into the dash, into the wires that exist. Do like the pros do. You get all the wires and power you need, connect them directly to the car's battery with their own terminals and their own fuses. Don't start adding it on. I had a customer in Houston once. He went and had a stereo system added on to his Ferrari, and it started on fire. Stereo company had to fork out $17,000 to fix the problems from that. So make sure they're standalone. Do not piggyback them on other parts of your car, or you can have problems. So as it stands now, we got a Toyota Corolla with 116,000 miles. It's an excellent car, shifts fine, goes fine, but he's going to have that electronic control disconnected because he doesn't drive it much. It's his wife's car. He'll go back to his RAV4 that has a mechanical driving system, not an electronic one, and he's learned a lesson. Don't put electronics on top of electronics. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Doc says, I got a 2018 Kia Rio. I have a sudden decrease in miles per gallon. My car's eating up gas. It's an automatic Kia 2018 1.4 engine with 25,000 miles. Suddenly it's horrible gas mileage. I went through some big potholes, heard something at the bottom of the car. Any ideas? No check engine lights? Nothing. All right, first, check under the car. Maybe one of the oxygen sensor wires is broken off. Something's broken and it doesn't get the feedback, so it's guessing at the air-fuel ratio when it's guessing wrong. Go under there, look, see if anything's come off. Maybe even electronic stuff has come off the transmission. Maybe it's not shifting into the top gears. First thing I do is drive it down the road, see if it shifts gear. If you got a 5-speed, listen to it shift. Does it shift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe it's not shipped into the top gear, and then you'll get horrible gas mileage. Look to make sure no hoses have been knocked off, no wires have been unplugged or scraped and cut and broken. Start there and look around to see what's going on. And of course, since you did hit something, here's something. You don't have any codes? Jack the car up, spin the wheels. Maybe it wrecked your brake and the brake's dragging. Grab all 4 wheels. If one of them doesn't spin but's dragging, the brake's dragging, you hit the thing, it could make the brake drag, and then you'll get bad gas mileage because the brakes are dragging on, but you won't get any codes because there's no code in the car for dragging brake system. So I'd say jack it up first, spin all the wheels, and if one of them's dragging, fix the brake. It could be a sticking brake easily that will knock the heck out of your gas mileage. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.